Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. I hope you had a fantastic Tuesday. It's me, the GREG. Wow, it's been a long day. Joined, of course, by my forever rival, Matty Luther DeKang. How you doing today, Matt?
What is up, good people? It's Tuesday. You know what time that is. See, I just changed my background. I still have Raw. Talking about NXT. My favorite show of the whole week. Get to see my babies. Get to see the children.
It's NXT on deck. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about Raw, and we're also going to be discussing a former New Japan IWGP multi-time tag team champion, never openweight champion, and a couple other things heading your way to the WWE very soon, apparently, if reports are correct. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about Raw last night. It was not a great episode.
It wasn't. It was a lot. You definitely felt the 3 hours. I didn't even. By the time we got to the main event, I had already turned it off because I'm like, well, I already know what's going to happen. I know it's Cody versus Waller. We know what's going to happen. Cody going to win.
Pretty much. You fell asleep. I probably would have if I wasn't working. I definitely would have.
I would have if I had kept watching Cody versus Waller.
It was as mid as you could have expected. It just it didn't really. And so the way that they try to keep people on is the second the match starts, we hear Michael Cole go, wait a minute, hold on. Someone from the Bloodline's backstage. It's Paul Heyman. I'm like, okay, all right, here we go.
Like that whole episode, basically, just they're gonna have to figure something out if they're gonna have those really big overseas shows, because you can clearly tell that the travel whooped that ass.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. They got back probably Saturday evening and probably they got a little bit of rest and had to go to Raw. And besides New Day and Imperium, they didn't have to travel. They obviously didn't have to travel because that match was the best match of the night. But for everybody else, if you saw them on Saturday and then you saw them on Monday, they were the Walking Dead. That whole show was jet lag.
Becky and Priest specifically looked like you could see the bags under their eyes. They were dead tired. We opened with Sammy versus Nakamura, which was a good match. Sammy gets his win back after 2 weeks ago. I think Drew cost him his match against Nakamura. Hits 2 haluva kicks, gets the dub, and it looks like yesterday was about building up the potential opponents for Gunther at WrestleMania.
Right.
Sammy's the first one. After his match, he's all excited backstage. He's being interviewed. And Imperium walks up and kind of smirk and just walk by. And then Gunther walks up and looks at him, ups and down, and laughs.
Kenny?
And what's going on, Kenny? How you doing, brother? Gunther goes out there with the rest of Imperium, and he gives Jey Uso props because he respects Jey. He says that Jay's the closest he ever came to losing that belt. And, he was lucky to walk out with it. But at the end of the day, nobody's perfect, but he was pretty damn close. That was it was a strange promo from Gunther, where he's gone from like, nobody's better than me to like, I got some pretty stiff competition around here. Like, I don't know what happened there. I really don't. But still, throughout the night, we see people talking about how they want to face Gunther for the belt.
Right.
Chad Gable goes to the back to Adam Pearce's office and says, he made my baby girl cry. He made her cry. I was like, I knew it. I called it. Yes. On a post on one of our Facebook groups, someone asked, like, how would you book Gunther's Intercontinental title match, and I'm like, I'm gonna have Gable do it and have Gunther make fun of his little kid crying on camera. That's exactly what I would do. And damn it,
hey, Triple H Trips was listening to you for once instead of me.
Shit. Gable even posted a video on his Twitter. That was like this well shot, edited down thing about him trying to make his family proud and how that night affected him and all this other stuff.
It definitely affected him
Kenny's
because they brought Tozawa into Alpha Academy.
Yes, it did. Yeah, that's like that video package. The only thing is, Mustafa Ali used to make video packages like that all the time, and it didn't give him shit.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I don't know if that leads to anything.
It's crazy. At this point, it's just the difference between Trips and Vince. It's like Trips likes stuff like that, but Vince just didn't give a crap.
Yeah.
Honestly, Batty said it's got to be Sammy, right? Jackson brought it up in Top Rope about the face-off between Sammy and Gunther. Whatever they are doing with this title, that is the main event. That is the main event of WrestleMania. Whatever night it is on, that is the match. Because it's been built up. We've had an undefeated. Gunther has been undefeated for 2 years, basically. He's defended this championship. Everybody
he has less losses than Roman does.
Right. Like everybody in there, everybody is lining up now. It went from, just like you said, Greg, nobody is better than me, to now he has some stiff competition. You got Sammy, you got Jay, you got Chad. You could get Ricochet to pop up.
Yeah.
Miz is the OG. I see GOAT. Still got Miz in there. You got Dominic, because Dom, he ain't got nothing to do. All right, you got all these people. So whatever they are about to do with Gunther and all of these folks stepping up for that championship, they have, like, Triple H has legit made that the workman's belt again. And I'm really looking forward to whatever they do with that title, because it's going to be the real main event. If you really think about it, that's going to be the real main event. It's not going to be Roman and Cody. We don't care about that. It's not going to be, and now they've added Priest even into this. So now what, is Priest going to cash in?
I
hope not.
I really hope not, man. Like, I'd rather him cash in on a world champion and lose than him cash in on the Intercontinental Championship. Like, I hate to have Austin Theory do it. Didn't Theory lose?
Smart.
He
lost. He lost. It was smart in theory, no pun intended, because they had literally booked themselves into a corner. But it's like, y'all really shouldn't have opened up the can of worms of the briefcase being able to be used on mid-card belts.
Yeah, because this whole time we were like, damn, he only has 2 options, and it's not gonna be Roman, but Seth. But we didn't even think about
opportunity. Like, no, it's
we didn't even think about the mid card belt. Yeah, we didn't even think about the mid card belts, and I hope not, man. I don't want to see that,
because because it really just opens up a can of worms that doesn't need to be opened. Like, keep it closed. Gunther is the only person probably for the next 10 years that's going to have any type of run like this with the Intercontinental title. He is the honky tonk man. He's the record. He is the record. No one else is going to do that. They could do Finn, but if they want Finn or Priest involved, they got to get them other belts off of them.
I think
they got to split those belts.
Part of what made Honky's reign so fun to talk about was who he lost it to, and how crazy it was. He lost to the Warrior in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was like Warrior just walked in and whooped that ass,
and that was like a quick run to the top for Warrior. So, like, when you beat Gunther, this needs to be the best option that you have, I think. And let's war in 1 minute. There you go. So, Gable has the best story, I think, when it comes to Gunther.
Right.
Sammy would make a lot of people happy, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Priest, just because he has a briefcase, it shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
What we might get there was a few years there where they were doing back-to-back like multi-man Intercontinental Championship matches. Maybe that happens. Maybe we get like a 4-way or a ladder match or something like that.
I mean, last year he defended it in a triple threat against Sheamus and Drew.
Mm-hmm.
So we got what? Chad, Gunther, Sammy, Priest. That's 4 people. Yeah, you could, or you could do. They could do like what was that when Daniel Bryan won that ladder match?
Yeah,
when they tried that, when that was the years when they were like, oh wait, we messed up and added made Money in the Bank or pay-per-view. We don't have a ladder match for WrestleMania now.
Yeah, ladder matches, yeah. Like that was a mistake, and they've been trying to find something ever since to fill that void, and they have just never.
Amos has been recovering cookies. He's been recovering from injury.
Yeah, he's been out. He'll be back soon. He'll be back soon.
Right.
Yeah, Gunther even dropped R-Truth. He did. He said I've seen people online, and someone even said R-Truth, and he let the crowd like go crazy for it. I think Truth would probably get the biggest pop.
Yeah.
I think like it would, but I think the better story is definitely Gunther and Gable, and just give them 15 to 25 minutes to just do what they do and just move on.
Yeah.
And that's if he's even dropping it at Mania. He might not even drop it at Mania.
That is very true too, because as you were saying this, I'm just like, all of these stories make sense. But like the one story that besides Gable, the one person who I would love to see him beat, like him lose to, basically, is Jay. But Jay is in the bloodline main storyline of Jay versus Jimmy. They have to get that done this year. We can't be going into 25 talking about brother versus brother.
Well, so after what happened last week, this needs to happen at Mania.
Yeah, so they got to fight at Mania, which means Jay has to beat him at Mania and maybe keeps that momentum going so he can win the mid-card belt at SummerSlam. Yeah. So yeah, Gunther could keep it going. Roman loses, Gunther, somebody gonna stay the same. It ain't gonna be Roman.
No, it's not. I hope not. Speaking of Jay, we saw him later on in the night talking about him coming up short in a lot of ways. And then Drew McIntyre comes up. And this is after Drew McIntyre. We'll get back to that. He already had an amazing segment.
Right.
Drew says, I kind of know what you're going through, and I got to say, you deserved every bit of it. Jay just thought for a second and then just started beating his ass, and they just started throwing hands. It was great. Just another person for Drew to piss off. But speaking of Drew, he comes out, I think around 10 o'clock or 9:30 to talk about what he's doing, and he takes his time to throw a few shots at CM Punk.
Right.
First thing he says is, "I know you don't drink, CM Punk. I know you're you're straight edge. So over the weekend, I drank for both of us." And then he sits down in a little cross-legged position, and I got this backwards. He said that second. The first thing he said was that at the Chamber, he was told by a doctor that he busted an eardrum.
Right.
And the doctor said he might not be cleared for Mania. And he says, "Who do you think I look like, Punk?" Like, good God, he can't stop himself. So he gets those 2 shots off. He sits in his little crisscross applesauce.
Right.
The Punk sit. and he calls out Seth. Seth comes out, and they have this weird, like, respectful back and forth because Drew's not a full heel yet. He's just kind of he's teetering. He's at the Austin point where he's just he's fighting whoever's in front of him. And he tells Seth that he wants him at 100%, and he doesn't want that to be affected by the bloodline stuff. That he needs to stay out of that business because it's not his. And that is when Seth says something that I kind of hated. And he said that sometimes it's worth the risk because we're trying to do something that's going to save this place. He made it sound like,
I told you they're making Roman Thanos.
They are. And it's like Seth is also a world champion. Like as far as on paper, Roman and Seth are on an equal playing field. They should be equals. As far as like how long they've held the belt, I know it's a very different thing. But I'm saying, like, as far as you're a champion, he's a champion, you'll have these same titles essentially.
Like, y'all should have the same amount of pull, low key, as world champions.
They don't. And Seth keeps talking about how it's more important to him to end the bloodline than it is to defend that belt. It just makes Seth look like such a. And I know Roman said it before, but it's like it is the loser's bracket belt. It's like it's such a bitch thing to say.
That's why I honestly just keep saying I'm really just writing this right out of Marvel. And I understand Roman is the big bad evil bad guy and all that, but damn, like, Seth, you are a world champion. You are the world heavyweight champion. We know that it's a secondary belt. At this point, Roman has already called it the loser's bracket belt. You need to be doing everything in your power to showcase that it's not the loser's bracket belt. And coming out here doing these promos, I understand they're just like, we want to keep him like fresh in your mind. No, because it's just reminding us that he's hurt. He can't wrestle. Like, that's all it is. That's Kenny. That's Kenny, Batty. That's Rock.
That's Kenny. He ain't around right now. he's got to handle some personal business.
Right.
You gotta get that money.
It just makes Seth. It makes the secondary title. I feel sorry for whoever is the second champion because they have a lot of work to do to build the title back up.
And Seth did a great job as far as matches goes. He had a great matches, but God, just
like the last month has just destroyed everything that has been built on it. Yeah. That promo, then Rock getting involved in all this other bullshit, and Seth is just everybody is revolving around Roman, including Seth. And it's like, bruh, you shouldn't. I understand, like, y'all were in the Shield, but no, y'all need to be separate. Y'all need, like, as much as I love this story between them, it's the story that will never end. It needs a big pause for Roman Seth because everybody else is getting thrown into it now.
Hell, the only one that really wants to focus on making the world title as respected and appreciated is Drew McIntyre. Like, he's one who's like, that's not even important. It doesn't matter to us. This, you and me, for that belt, that is what's important. And I just can't believe for the past, like you said, past month, nothing is as important as to anybody on the roster except for like Drew and Gunther. Nothing is as important as getting the belt off Roman. And it just, in one way, it's good because you're making this champion such a great and important figure. But on the other hand, everybody else just looks inferior. You know?
Right.
There's got to be a better way to do it. There's got to be a way where you don't have Seth Rollins looking like a backup, like he's second string. There's got to be a way. Speaking of Drew, there was a rumor going around today that he was re-signed, and then that was debunked a few hours later. So and you might agree with me on this. I don't think we're really going to know until after Mania if he's re-signed or not. I think they're going to keep that under wraps. Yeah, I think part of that is they know that if he re-signs, then he's a champion, right? And if he doesn't re-sign, he's probably going to lose. So it's in the best interest to keep us on our toes with that story if no one knows if he is signed or not. Drew wins the belt, he resigns. Yeah, exactly. If Drew wins the belt, then he's resigned. And if not, then maybe Priest cashes in. I don't know. Right. Becky got attacked by Nia after her and Rhea had their back and forth. And then she gets back at Nia by attacking her during her match with Liv. So now Liv is mad at Becky for ruining her match. I smell a fatal 4-way.
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, because like the post in Top Row earlier where somebody was complaining like, oh, they need to add Liv. And that's why I just said, like, just let it play out. Rhea is fighting Becky. It's not the Royal Rumble winner. The person who has who wins the Rumble usually doesn't have fuckery added to their match. It's the person who has to have their challenger determined at the pay-per-view that we just finished, at the February pay-per-view. So now Rhea got Becky, and then they're going to try and add as many people logically for this. They'll probably get Liv. There'll be Nia. There'll be someone else.
Yeah. She damn sure did almost say my hole last night. That was like, I was doing the live coverage for the show for Sportskeeda, and I typed out Liv avoids the leg drop and Nia avoids saying my hole again. Because like she hit that apron, did the exact same pose, hand on the butt, did the mouth open, and I hear it in my head the second she made that face. But she held it back. She didn't say it. Thankfully, because that would have really fucked up her character. But yeah, I don't know. I used to be on the Liv bandwagon, but I hate to say this because Kenny's in chat and I'm about to tell him he's right. She's such a fucking whiner.
Right.
She's so whiny. I mean, Jesus Christ. I really don't want to see. I don't think she needs to be the one to beat Rhea. But I don't know. I mean, out of those options, who do you think is the best option for Rhea match? For someone to beat, even if it isn't at Mania, who should be beating Rhea for that belt?
Probably either Nia or Bianca. Depending on what they do with Jade. Like, we don't know what brand Jade is going to be on. So I can't even.
Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows Jade? Reggie also says not Shayna. Shayna would be if they would let her, do her shit for a few months. Yeah, sure. But right now, I think time has passed Shayna by, unfortunately. And that's a shame. But
right,
it is what it is. We'll talk about the rest of Raw on Thursday. Before we get to NXT, there's some pretty big news coming out of New Japan. Tama Tonga of GOD, Guerrillas of Destiny. We've known for a while he's leaving New Japan. He's wrapping up his schedule now.
Right.
Or has he already wrapped up? I think he's already wrapped up.
Yeah, he's already left. He already had his last match over the weekend.
Yeah. Per Fightful Select, Tuesday, Oh, this is actually, they got this from the Wrestling Observer. Reported that longtime New Japan Pro wrestler Tama Tonga is headed to WWE. Fightful has confirmed that is the expected move, barring unforeseen circumstances. WWE has maintained interest in Tama for nearly a decade, and the two sides have had many talks over the years. So, Kenny asked us or brought this up in our pod chat about thinking about what to do with Tama, and do you add him to the Bullet Club or the Club or whatever they call themselves now? Do you add him to the Bloodline? What do you do with him?
I would not add him to none of those. Neither. Just let him be his own person.
Send him to
If
Raw.
they want to mention that history at some point, they can. Like, I'm sure they are when he initially appears, but I don't think he doesn't need to be in neither group. Yeah. But if they're going to make him be in a group, put him with the Club. They need something. Maybe that's why the Club just appeared in NXT. Maybe he's starting out in NXT.
That would make sense for why the Club is there, because right now I have no idea why they're there. Aside from they just don't have a tag division right now.
Like, it could honestly be the beginning of Tama Tonga showing up at NXT. Give NXT a stable that can dominate, because it's not the metaphor.
Yeah, that's a fact. But yeah, that's gonna be a huge addition. I honestly can't believe AEW didn't land that, because that's a massive get, just because that's a guy that can handle the mic and go in the ring. He's a vet, so he knows what he's doing. He's going to be exciting for them. I see big things for Tama. I think I'm with you about not grouping him with somebody just yet. Right. Maybe down the road, but right now, let's have him be his own person for a little bit. Unless we're heading right into this bloodline breakup, where we're gonna have like the Civil War, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, you can wait a month or two. You can go put him on Raw, have him win a couple matches, look strong, and then boom. Regardless, it's a pretty exciting time if you're a Tama fan like Kenny is. He's freaking out in the chat. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting for us. Let's get into NXT. First off, so according to Fightful Select, this is gonna be starting the show. We're gonna get a promo from Ilya Dragunov.
Oh,
but he's also going to be finishing the night with Mello for their face to face.
Oh, okay.
So we're opening and closing with the champ. Von Wagner is going to take on Lexis King, because I guess Lexis needs a win after what happened last week when he got destroyed by Oba Femi. And, Vaughn can't buy a win. So that's a Lexis dub right there. Roxanne Perez takes on Jakara Jackson of the Metaphor. And if we weren't behind over 200 points, I'd be a little nervous about that, but I really don't give a shit. At this point, I'll take a -6, whatever. Okay. I'm not going to be over here crying about it later. It's all right. Reggie says I can see them starting him out at NXT. I can also see them having a feud with AJ. And AJ Tama feud would be a good start. Yeah. Next up is Kalani Jordan taking on Kiana James.
That should be all Kalani.
Yeah, they really need to start. I mean, Kalani definitely has something. Kiana's been there for a while. It's time to start pushing that Kalani. We're going to get Noam Dar defending the NXT Heritage Cup against one of the No Quarter Catch crew. We don't know who yet.
Oh, boo.
I'm trying to see if there's any possible spoilers here about who it might be. It might be
Dempsey.
Yeah, that according to Fight Select, it looks like Dempsey's probably going to be the one to do it. And if that's the case, I think we're going to have a new champion.
I'll take it. We need something excitement.
Yeah, Dar. He's been fun. He's been exciting, but it might be the end of it.
All right.
You know, I hope they keep the metaphor together though, because I love that group. I do. They're so fun. But and I'm kind of looking forward to see what Jakara Jackson does tonight after what we saw with Last Legend last week.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of big things happening for the metaphor. Let's see. So yeah, then the main event will be, or not main event, but the main segment, the final segment is going to be Dragunov and Mello. We're also going to apparently have the OC taking on Enofe and Blade. So I guess whoever's injured there, that they're back now. And let's see. So we have Enofe and Blade. We have OC. We have the Wolf Dogs. We have Chase
Stack from D'Angelo.
Yeah, the family. And then Fraser and Axiom. So it's decent. You know, it's just it's there's something that they
just need some more. They need some oomph.
Yeah, that's they like you're gonna get great matches, but damn, they need something else. They need a little it factor in that tag division. I think that about covers it for NXT, so that's probably going to do it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about what happened tonight, give you some previews for Dynamite, and we're going to hear a little bit more about Sting and this is his final week. The Sting's final week as an in-ring competitor. And I already said goodbye when he retired the first time.
Right.
So, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to do it. I'm not gonna shed a tear. I might. I probably will. Let's be honest. I probably will. If I was in the building, I'd be crying like a baby.
Oh
I'd be bawling like crazy. And I guess we'll find out what the hell was going on with Ric Flair and the Bucks, or Nicholas and Matthias. Is that what he is, Matthias?
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas and Matthias. I'm not looking forward to that one. Anything we need to say before you sign off, Matt?
Oh. No, enjoy NXT, and we'll see y'all tomorrow for Boom Goes the Dynamite.
All right. Guys, you can follow us at facebook.com/UnderTheRingPod and twitch.tv/UnderTheRingPod. You can also find us at our link tree, also /UnderTheRingPod, where you'll see our links. I'm, of course, at Greg Bush SK. We've got Kenny in the comments at RockRibs44. Got our good friend, the teacher man, Mike Jones at Mr. Freshbeard. We have my forever rival, Maddie, at The Right Answer. We got our street team captain, Tito Borrell Maliente. And we've also got, last but not least, our good friend and local news correspondent, Justin D. Baxley.
Folks, have a good night.
Have a wonderful night. Don't get caught up in any kind of crazy Twitter shit. Just enjoy it.
Don. Just do the Don, y'all.
Roxanne's taking that -6 tonight. I can just feel it.